We are live. Welcome to the show, people. We got Nalante with us, Brian as well. Welcome, guys. How you doing?
Yeah, all good, man. Happy Easter to everyone.
Yeah, everyone's
That's what
celebrating
we
around the
do.
world.
Yeah, good afternoon to everyone. Yeah, all good, Joe.
Können wir das Trampolin nach vorne stellen?
Yeah, welcome. You there, Nalante? Yeah.
Yeah, all good, Jake. Yeah, all good, all good.
All good, all good. It's been like a few mad days of football. Because it's been Easter as well, bank holidays, and then yesterday's result, a shady 1-0 away win against Leicester. Just a quick thing. What did you think of the game yesterday, Brian?
Oh, pretty boring.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of chances in it. Couldn't say there was no chances in it, but there was something very, like I was saying yesterday, real kind of testimonial, friendly kind of energy to it. Two teams, like one team. We technically relegated them yesterday, but one team that knew they were going down, and one team that knew they were going to win the league. So apart from a few bits and pieces, lacked much energy, lacked much bite. But nice day in the sunshine. Uh, it woke up like our last couple of games. It woke up in the last 10 minutes, and a football match started to happen when they got that goal disallowed. Nice bit of energy then, and a very dramatic goal. But other than that, the match itself, yeah, no,
Dodgy.
not great.
Yeah. Nalante?
Yeah, I kind of second what Brian was. The good thing was the win, and we created a number of chances. We were a little bit more, not 100%, but it's kind of the issue. It's hard to say. We should have won the game clear, but you made a little bit of hard work of it at the same time. So, and it was just coincidental. Just what a coincidence, Trent. The man who's the talk, and yeah, gets the winner. But you're glad one more win to go. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, same as what I was thinking. I just feel the football's not been great. Like for me, again, Sabotsalai missing again. This guy can't catch a break, but for me, he was non-existent. Give me his wages, give me his shirt. I will put more of a shift in than that guy. I've never really gone against players. You guys know that. But for me, Sabotsalai is the one guy. We paid a lot of money for this guy. It isn't like we got him on a free transfer or we paid like 15 million or something like that. But when you spent 70 million on a guy, 60 million, you'd expect a lot more, especially after he's done it a few times. It's not like he's not had one good game. He's had 2 or 3 good games, I would say, in his Liverpool career for us. And what has he done in the last 2 months that I couldn't have done? I've seen him in one video driving a Ferrari in Hungary, and he's just like meeting some fans and stuff like that. Fair enough, seems like a good lad and that, but at the end of the day, he plays football for us, and I don't understand his selection all the time being selected. Where Harvey Elliott could have done more. What's your viewpoint on Sabotsalai's game yesterday, Brian, for example?
Well, everything we were hoping it wouldn't be, JK. Like again, whether it's Elliot, whether it's Jones, whether it's whoever, we don't know. But all I know is the guy is now, to me, maybe a 1 in 6, 1 in 5, 1 in 6 player. The rest of the time, it sort of won't let you down in terms of physical presence, work rate, all of that kind of the stuff that you're being asked to do. So that when you run off the pitch, if you haven't scored, you can say, well, look, you did your work, you did your job, apart from the final bits and pieces. But again, it's just too many times, man. Too many times. Didn't know a lot about him when he came in, and so I've always been watching him kind of closely to see whether he's the real deal, whether, like, we know what he can do. We know he can score long range goals. We know he can pass. We know he can do all that. But it's just, can he do it at the highest level with a club like Liverpool? Doesn't really happen very often. From, when's the last time? When is the last time we were having a conversation about man of the match and he was involved?
True.
Can't remember, man. Can't remember, He plays his part in good games, but even then, like, I just remember watching yesterday highlights of that Man City game. Go watch that. He was all over the shop, taking, in a good way, taking shots, trying to make stuff happen. It was like watching a different player. The energy that he had, the ability that he had, he could have scored twice. I mean, the guy just doesn't, I don't really know. He's maybe that was his one match in 5 or 6, but I always used to say that he just needed, there was a player there playing playing within himself, and he just needed to have one really big game, and he proved to himself that he can do it, and he'd push on from there. And he did that a few months ago in a game. I think he got 2 assists and a goal, or he got one of each. And I was thinking, right, here we go now. Go out now, now you've had your breakout game kind of thing. Go out and just kick on from there. And he just kind of went back in the next few games to just being kind of normal Dom. So, yeah, for me, he just did yesterday what he's been doing for months now, which is turning up and putting in a shift in, but not really creating anything.
Yeah, you carry on, then I'd say that.
Yes. No, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I just saw something on my.
Yeah, I've seen a few like fans already like sell the guy this summer. And like, normally I'm very against like fans having sort of negative vibes towards players and stuff, but this guy don't help himself. Like, you're playing for Liverpool Football Club, bro. You're a young lad, you're 24, just got married, you got a nice car, nice house, good life. You should have settled in by now. And then you got Harvey Elliott, a Liverpool fan since he was a kid, comes on the pitch, shows more energy than him anyway. And he don't be able to seem to sort of start games. Like Jones, did you see that video about Jones at the end of the game? Just walked straight off into the tunnel. You hear anything about that?
No, I saw his face when he was coming on, though. And if, like, you talk about body language, that was a guy that was really not happy to be there by the looks of it.
Yep. Because
He looked really disgusted to be coming on. So, look, even if you're not getting the minutes you want, like, if you're being brought on, you got to come on with a bit of energy. Like, he looked like he was being asked to go and clean the toilets,
Yep. Because he's probably thinking, you know what? I'm coming on with 10 minutes or so to go away to Leicester.
Well, even that, man. I think it was like 4. It was like 5 minutes.
Yeah. So, for me, Jones, not the best player in the world, but I'd rather pick him than Szoboszlai, and that's how bad it is. That's how bad Szoboszlai is. I don't really understand Arne Slot in the last 2 months, bro. Mind-boggling. His team selections, his energy of what gear. Leicester City could have got a draw against us yesterday. And I'll tell you the truth, their goal they scored, it's a bit sort of lenient towards us. Like, at the end of the day, I'm happy with it. But I would be disappointed if we weren't given that goal. I don't really see it as a foul or a big foul on Alisson. Yeah, man, iffy. There's Liverpool fans moaning about decisions given towards us instead of against us. But you know what I mean, though, bro. If that was against us, I'll be a bit disappointed. If we was given that goal, I'll be like, oh, lucky. But at the end of the day, we let a Leicester team score a goal against us, bro. Come on, man. Arne Slot don't really understand of getting a game wrapped up. These guys are not. It's not you, Arnie, playing on the pitch, Arnie. So if you give the orders, lads, I want the job done in the first 30 minutes, you know, they'll be like, okay, we've been there, done that. We did it under Klopp, where we got the game wrapped up in the first half, 3-4-0. We beat West Ham by a goal. We lost to Fulham by a goal. We beat a poor Leicester team who haven't won in donkey's years by a goal. And I don't really understand where Arnie Slott's trying to come, which angle he's coming at here. He knows like these guys ain't got nothing else on the table. No Champions League semi-finals. There's no other games to be involved in. It's the Premier League now. And still, they're bringing lackluster performances like they did yesterday. You know, you'd think the players would be buzzing. You know, we're going for the league title now. We ain't got no Champions League games, no Carling Cup, League Cup games, FA Cup, whatever. It's just the Premier League. Let's put our foot down a bit now. I know the manager's told us to hold our horses and play in first, second gear, but you know what? Sod that. Let's go on. Let's put our foot down a little bit. I think a lot of fans are disappointed in the way we're playing recently, and for me, because of the Champions League not being there, there's no excuse really. You know what I mean? Week breaks, the big two players signing their contracts. You think it would add a bit of fuel to the game, you know? And on top of that, the one guy on Friday, Saturday, if any of us would have said anything about this one, we were just like, yeah, he might get a 5-10 minute game. Trent coming back from injury, that's about it. The guy ends up winning the game, takes his shirt off. I wonder what he like. No one knows but Trent, if you understand my point. Like he scored that goal, but he's like thinking, what am I going to do next season? Only he knows really. Were you happy it was Trent who scored, Nalante?
Couldn't care less who scored. Could have been the tea lady. To be honest, I'm not bothered about it really.
Nah.
But I'm not bothered. But what I will say is, I think was it Carragher? Some of the headlines saying gassing the goal, saying, "Oh, he scored with his weaker foot." I mean, let's be real. And again, it's not hating. You know, fair play, Trent. I mean, coincidentally, he scored. The shot was a decent shot. It wasn't a strong shot. We should have scored twice. Salah again. Jota again hit the bar. I mean, really should be finishing the dinner. And the goalkeeper fluffed his lines. You should. If Alisson conceded that, I don't think anyone in here or in the chat will be saying, "Oh yeah, oh great save, yeah, couldn't do anything about it." The goalkeeper should be saving that, and he fumbled it really. But obviously, on the to pay, we deserve to win. But yeah, with the goal was a little bit lucky, to be fair. But then again, I think we should have scored a long time. Way
Got out there. I think Trent's put him off.
Can you hear me or no,
Brian?
Can you hear me?
Can hear
or no?
Yeah. I can hear. Yeah, I can hear that.
Oh. Okay, bro. No, all just say is that, I mean, realistically, we should have scored a long time. I mean, the misses were not great, if I'm honest. Really should be finishing our dinner before then. But the goal, yeah, it was a bit of a... Yeah, I mean, if Alisson conceded that, I don't think anyone would be happy. Let's just put it that way. But it went in. That's the main thing.
Yeah, it didn't bother me who scored it either. You win the game and then, you know, look at the individuals afterwards. But yeah, it hit the post, hit the bar, then a clearance that was a bit of a mad goal. Like, yeah, all in the space of about 5 seconds, hit the post, hit the bar, header out, shot back in. Like you said, the goalkeeper is only a couple inches too high. If he gets down half a second earlier, he's definitely saving that. You know, but we don't really care about that when they hit the back of the net. Yeah, was it really? I suppose you could say it had to be him, but it didn't have to be him yesterday. You know, that's a really, like everyone's saying, that's a poor side. And, you know, maybe they had one last bit of fight in them because they didn't want to be officially relegated that day, especially when it was 0-0. And they thought, there's not that long to go. It's 0-0. We can do something here. We're going down, but at least we can stay up. We can give the fans a win at home against Anfield, against Liverpool, or a result against Liverpool. But so I can give them a bit of credit for that. But I don't think. I think the 7 days is too long. I've said it a couple of times already. I think the 7 days is too long. It's nice to have a break and get a good rest between games, but I think 7 days is actually detrimental rather than beneficial. Just 5 days maybe be perfect. Players are used to that kind of rhythm, to take a week off and then another week off and another week off. I think it just takes them a long time to get up to speed, which it shouldn't. But when you got other teams that have just played a few days before, or they've got something to play for, I don't mind. I don't mind some bad performances. Like, I'd really like to see, some games that we should be winning because we've got this league wrapped up. I know this is going to sound a bit kind of perverse, but I'd like to see players. Not that I want to see it. How can I phrase it? I'd like to see players, plenty of them, given chances. Those that have gotten them, they have gotten. But to go out there and show that they deserve to be here. Because if they go out and they can't perform now, if they go out and they show us that they're not able to turn it on, they're not able to step up, then I want to see that, because then I know who we need to shift and who we need to replace. Because there's enough guys out there now that they're going out on the pitch every week, and they're not saying to me, I'm a starter here next year. Look at the way I play. Whatever happens to this team, I'm going to be one of the main men in it. We might be selling this guy or bringing in that guy, but you can count on me to perform. I'd rather find out who we can count on, and there's a couple of them now. And Dom is one of them that, I think like 2 years, as I said, for me, 2 years is a proper time to judge someone. You give them their first year, new country, young, but still an experienced international player, even by a kid. Like these Hungarian guys, man. Like, that's a tough country. It's a tough country. So he'll have backbone. He'll have steel to get where he's got. But after 2 years now, it's like, you, to me, have not shown that you're a top player. Same with people like Jones as well. For me, isn't a top player. You had opportunities. So I don't mind that at all, because we won this league, and now you find out who's able to step up and who's not.
No, that's true, bro. 100% true in that aspect. I'll read some of the comments here. KS Gamer UK, wish I've joined. I'm a big Liverpool LFC fan. Big up yourself, gamer. I'm seeing you. Welcome. I'm seeing your name in the channel. Hope you're all right. And yeah, just keep on. Big up Realism. Like, share, subscribe. Big up Realism. Always supporting. Big up yourself, Realism. Hope you're good today. It's the Monday. MK Toll says, I thought it would have been the closer, Endo. Yeah, I mean, to be a closer, it's not a great look, but yeah. Oh, yeah, you would have thought, but yeah.
Oh, when Jones was coming on, yeah, that was Endo time.
Yeah, but I don't think it would have mattered. I mean, I know Endo's the club, but I don't think it could have been Endo. Could have been the ball in the stand, but but fair enough, Bri. Oh, big up yourself, Realism's giving us the shouts to all three of us again. Big up Realism. Always. And he's picking up the other guys. That's yourself, Bri. Still second off FC. Well, I mean, we were, like Brian said, I don't think we were just a bit lackluster, but we had enough chances in the first and second half to wrap that game up. Salah, really, I mean, on another day, you should be burying about 2 or 3. Jota, you came on, and yeah, I mean, the cross from Salah, you should be burying that, but, Cedric says, big up to all of us. Big up yourself, Cedric. Hope you're well, my friend, wherever you are, man. What are you up to today? looks like they were in training, lots of running, tiring to watch. I mean, we'll get onto that, Cedric. Actually, we'll get onto that.
It was. First
Yeah.
half felt like it lasted an hour.
Mm, mm. And Realism says, agreed that call could have gone either way. You could not have complaints if it was given. That was extremely soft, in my humble opinion. Yeah, Realism is true. Like I said, all our chances, and we could have dropped points in this game. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. Okay, big up to yourself. Right. Nelson says, do anybody want Liverpool to win at Anfield or Arsenal to lose at home? All right, we'll answer this. I don't really care. I'm at the point, don't care. If Arsenal drop points, we win it. If we win it at Anfield, you know. What about yourself, bro? JK, bro? What do you reckon about Nelson's question?
I would be
Okay,
happier just winning at Anfield, because at the end of the day, bro, we could start that Tottenham game as winners, or we could start that Tottenham game as a chance to win it at Anfield. So I'd rather go with the second one. I'd rather like win the game, win the title, instead of going into that game as winners of the league. Because like at the end of the day, bro, just winning the league, I'm putting that to the side right now. I'm just disappointed and really, I wouldn't say worried about the way we've been playing the last 2 months. You know, I think, yeah, winning the league, if it was a title race, I would have been happy with that 1-0 away win to Leicester. You know what I mean? It's all about the 3 points. But all in all, I want to see some fight from now until the end of the season, bro. There's me thinking yesterday we're going to show that. We didn't show no fight, bro. We let Leicester sort of have a chance to get a point against us, bro. Like when it was 0-0, Leicester could even win the game 1-0. You know, they're the ones who scored that goal. It was going to be 1-0 to Leicester, bro. So I'm like, I want to see some fight before this season finishes, because I think a lot of guys are sort of playing for their future at the club. But then again, look at this. Chiesa, Darwin. Chiesa wasn't even in the squad yesterday. Darwin didn't even get a foot on the pitch. And for me, Darwin and Chiesa are the 2 guys who are show a bit of entertainment, who are going to come on, show a bit of energy, going to show a bit of initiative, you know? I'm really disappointed in Arne Slot's sort of team selections, energy he's showing in games, what instructions he's showing, telling the players what to do, you know? Arsenal smashed Ipswich, and they're sort of finding form in the wrong time of the season in that way of the Premier League. Like for me, that was done a long time ago. One good thing about yesterday, I would say a clean sheet. But all in all, I'm just a little bit disappointed right now in the way we're sort of playing. But I'm taking a win against Tottenham at Anfield to wrap up the league. And I would love to see us do a job. I think Brian was saying yesterday about, I'd love to see a game 4-3. We clinch it last minute to win the league, you know what I mean?
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I just want to see an entertaining
Yeah,
game
exactly.
that we can watch back and go, did that game we won the league title? It wasn't some boring 1-0 crap game.
Mm-hmm.
Just, goals like the 3-2 or just a really, just go out there, put on a show for the fans kind of game, you know? But Tottenham still have something to play for, I suppose. So I
would say Tottenham, they probably want to, because they've got a European game. They probably want to have good form, but then again, they might rest players. So all in all, we don't know what Tottenham are going to get. And Arsenal also involved in European football, and Chelsea. So 3 of our sort of tougher opponents on paper all got European games. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise, you know. But for me, I'm just disappointed in Slot's sort of energy levels, player selections, just in general. Ever since that Southampton game, I haven't been happy, bro. Nalante, you happy? I don't think you are, but what would you have done different? Like, what do you want to see against Tottenham? You're like, all these things, bro. Like, player section. Endo didn't get game. Chiesa didn't get a game. Darwin didn't get a game. Elliot got a game. Jota again got a game. Like, I think I'm willing to see Jota, Darwin, and Szoboszlai all sold in the summer.
Oh, Nalante's gone, is he? Yeah, you know, like your thoughts on team selection. You know, I'm not going to ask. You know, you've made it clear what you think. I also think that there's players on the pitch that once they go out on the pitch, it's up to them to show what they can do. It's not all on the manager when you've got 11 boys out there that, you know, we're only going to make 2 or 3 changes. If that, like some of these boys that are being picked, like Darwin, people want Darwin to play more. Okay. When he plays, he doesn't play well. Dom doesn't play well, and he's playing every game. So Dom has been given the chance to play every single game, and he isn't getting any better. You know, what's his excuse? That's not Onslaught. He's been given the opportunity. He's been given the chances. Some people, too many chances. So it works both ways. You know, there's a lot of these guys that I don't think you could have any manager. Basically, we could have any manager on the planet, in my opinion. And Jota, Szoboszlai, Nunes, Tsimikas, Chiesa, probably if there's something going on with him, but we can leave him out of it. They still wouldn't be good enough. Some players just aren't good enough, regardless of what the manager does. Like Darwin hasn't been good enough for 2.5, 3 years now. It's not just Slot. He was pretty like Darwin was very poor for 2 years under Jurgen Klopp as well. Not just Slot. I don't think Tsimikas has ever been a top player. I don't think Diaz has ever been world-class player. Jota, the same now. Like with his injury record, it wouldn't matter who came in. I don't think. He's someone who he's finished as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, that's why you know, it depends like who you ask. Even the most kind of optimistic fan or the most kind of loyal fan or whatever, not even loyal, but just unambitious fan would say, oh, we need to change 2. Some people say we need 6, 7. You know, so it's basically take your pick. You'll say you could. I don't think you'd find many people disagreeing right now if those players you were talking about were sold in the first week. So yeah, there's changes, man. Like I say, but I just think some of it's on Slot. Look, it's on everybody. If we win, it's not just on him. If we lose, not just on him.
Yeah.
Same with the players. But there's players out there, man. Like Jota wouldn't get into most people's teams. He just wouldn't. Not with this injury record. If we had someone better than him, Jota would be one warm on the bench, and God knows where Nunes would be. He probably would have sold him in January if we'd had someone else. Chiesa, I think they're protecting him. I think Chiesa's being sold, so they don't want him to get injured. It's the only thing I can think of at this stage now. Like, no minutes off the bench is one thing, and then not even in the squad for the next game. I mean, what other answer could there be? The guy's gone.
Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, bro. Like, because for me, I would keep Szoboszlai, Darwin, and Tsimikas. Jota, for me, I wouldn't keep him. I don't know what's going on with his game, all in all. His goal against Everton, that's the only thing I can really look at. But for me, I'm going to blame Slot a little bit because, you know, when you're a football manager and you've got guys like Szoboszlai and Darwin and Szoboszlai on paper can win a game. They're good players, they're good athletes, you know, they can run. They're not lazy, Darwin and Szoboszlai. I'm not going to talk about Jota. And for me, again, Simicast, he did better than what Robertson would have done. I think Simicast played okay yesterday. He did okay against West Ham. And the game changed as soon as we substituted Simicast and brought in Robertson. I have no problem with Simicast. I think he's a top lad, puts a shift in, always gives 100%. And I think he's done better than Robertson this season. So I've got no problem with Simicast, honestly. If I had to choose between the two, him and Robertson, I'll probably sell Robertson. Yeah.
Okay.
In the last few months, I'm really getting in. And, you know, the reason why I'm not really blaming Robertson. What it is, Robertson's used to full throttle Jurgen Klopp football. And then all of a sudden, Slot's come in. And Slot's telling him, hey, hold your horses now, lad. And that's messed up Robertson's game. And it's as simple as that. You know, if something's not broke, you don't need to fix it. And I think Slot's gone, his cautious demeanor has messed up a lot of players' heads. Curtis, Darwin, Jota, Simicast, Robertson, Konate even. You know? And on top of that, Virgil van Dijk has played every minute of the Premier League season. I know Joe Gomez got injured. And he probably could have done a shift with Konate together in certain games, you know? But for me, the way Slot has treated certain players hasn't done him any favours, bro. And the certain, like, remember last week that West Ham game we had Trent on the bench, or not even on the bench, on the sides. I mean, him and Darwin looking like two lads at school who were on the naughty table. You know what I mean? Dossers, as you would say it. And you know what I mean, bro? It just looked right, mate. And one of them Dossers came off the bench yesterday and scored the winner, bro. Oh man, what's going on at the end of the season, bro?
Well, he wasn't fit for West Ham, JK.
Yeah, he wasn't fit, but you know what I mean, though,
Yeah, he
bro.
came
It's
on.
just like
He came
the
back.
energy around
Yeah,
the
but he
club.
was injured. But he was injured. That's why he didn't play against West Ham. He was injured, and he's refused to sign a new deal, and he's buggering off to Madrid. So
You reckon 100% he's not signing the contract then? 100% you're like, yeah, he's gone.
oh god, yeah,
Yeah?
yeah, 100%, 100%.
I don't know. What are you going to do, though? You know, at the end of the day, Slot's not... Look, like, Slot's had a few little cheeky comments about Darwin, if you understand my point. You know, he needs to do this some more, or Jota as well, but he still keeps on picking Jota. Jones didn't look happy yesterday. Endo shouldn't be happy, Elliott as well. But do you understand my point there, Brian and Nalante, in the way Slot's handling the squad? He could have done a better job.
Some players aren't going to play. You know, I don't know. I think Slot is getting a hell of a lot of blame for players not being good enough to play. Really, you know.
Thing
I
is,
just think
Elliott and Chiesa have
I
been
don't
good
like. You
enough
want
to
to
play.
keep Darwin? Why the hell would you keep Darwin?
You know why I
Like,
would keep
what has
that?
Darwin done?
No. I'm just
Why?
talking in a way of when you look at Jota, for example.
Darwin Nunes.
You're going to tell me that Darwin would have done a better job than Jota if he got selected in all them big games?
We don't know.
Because
I don't know. Just judging what he's done in the past,
Southampton,
probably not.
like pre-Paris game, Darwin Nunes was the only 9 out of, say, Gakpo, Diaz, Jota, and him who was sort of getting involved in games. He set up Elliott, got the goal against Southampton, equalised, win us a penalty. There's me thinking, you know what? He's ready to go against Paris. And what
Ready to
happens?
go, Brian. Ready to go. Darwin
Ready to go.
Nunes.
And what happens? He picks
Star
up
man, Brian.
Jota, picks up Jota again for Newcastle, picks Jota again, just picking Jota all the time, and it weren't working. And still, Darwin, he hasn't had no taste of action in the last few games.
Nothing.
And I don't
Brian.
think that's
Nothing.
I don't think that's Darwin's fault. I think that's Arnie Slot, my opinion.
Can you imagine it, Brian? Darwin plays 5 games, 5 goals in 5 games. Brian, can you imagine it? Last 5 games, Darwin plays 5 goals, Brian. What are you thinking, huh? Huh, Brian?
How
Darwin
much would you
Nunes.
have on that? How much money would you have on that happening?
Well, I'll get back to you on that.
Mm.
That's calculations right there. No. Look, I think JK's ran the point, and obviously on the serious note, Brian, you made your criticisms with Darwin, and yeah, but I mean it's got to the point whether we agree or disagree that I think Darwin's checked out, and I get it, and I can't blame him to a sense because he hasn't put foot, but I'll be the middleman in this before we got move on. And then I'll play Arnie Slot's post press conference after the Leicester game. But what I'll say with Darwin is, Brian's right. He's had again. If you don't know, I'm sorry to be a repetitive situation. I didn't want Darwin in the first place. I really didn't. I really didn't want Darwin. I thought we could have got better. And I know he had a precious season and scored against us, but I was never into him. Obviously, Brian, obviously as he can, has his own story, which Brian, I'll let you elaborate on that anyway. But the thing with Darwin is that he's had decent games throughout his season. He's been runs, but it just hasn't happened. It just hasn't happened for him for whatever reason. And in terms of this season, there's a balance. I think this season Slot hasn't helped in the sense of one thing, and I'll do the pros and cons. Slot hasn't helped in the sense of, I don't know, me and Brian discusses about 3-4 games. I mean, it might have been cup games, whatever, but he hasn't had that good run. So you can let him just go, in my opinion, and just say, you know what, it ain't happening for you. You sit bench, because it doesn't help when when someone scores or takes him out. And sometimes when I've watched the games that Darwin has made runs, he's made certain runs, and he hasn't been found. So, certain plays, he's made the run, playing the through ball, and let's see. And, regardless of whether he misses or scores, I've seen that because I've even seen it at that waist striker. What's his name? The 70 mil waste of space, Hoyland, and he's not that great, but I've seen him made runs and he's not been feed. Now that could be trust. Well, those Salah likes Darwin. That could be trust of he's not going to put the ball in the net or whatever, or it's Salah. So that doesn't help when strikers make the good runs and they're not feeding the ball. But unfortunately, there's certain games that Darwin's had the chance and he hasn't delivered. And he hasn't delivered sometimes. And then obviously one games he's been put out unfair. So we're just at a point that we like him and Jota, and he hasn't helped but Jota. We just need to in my opinion, get rid of them both and get who we can get in, because it's done. And I just don't like the way Slot has treated him the last bit. I don't like that, because as much as you call him out, then you need to give the energy to certain players. But it is what it is, and Darwin's checked out, and I can't blame him. So
Yeah, I can't blame him.
yeah, we just move on. In my opinion, we sell Darwin and Jota and get the players we want. That's it, because the season's nearly over. Would have been nice to give him some games, but Slot obviously, last week was telling, and you can give us the old "I'm ill" shtick, but we all know. But that's his prerogative. But
yeah, but for me, that's the personality clash there, because
maybe
when you look at the pre-Paris game, you had a guy, Darwin Nunes, who came on the pitch against Paris, set up Elliott. Okay, then the next game, Southampton, he starts him, and you're thinking, whoa, okay. Arnie Slot's picking Darwin now. Okay, what does he do? He gets this equaliser after we let a flipping Southampton score against us. Then he goes and wins the penalty. Then he gets brought off, and you're thinking, okay, he's getting ready for the Paris game. Darwin's sort of finding his little 2 games, done something in both games. There's this one's thinking, yeah, Darwin's going to be starting against Paris. And I tell you the truth, I reckon he would have ripped Paris apart. And he definitely would have ripped Newcastle apart on a big Wembley pitch. So for me, I'm blaming Slot. You're picking up a Szoboszlai every game, and he ain't doing nothing, bro. So for who you going to blame? You're going to have to blame Slot. I ain't blaming the players, bro. Because if Slot don't pick Szoboszlai, or even if he picks a Curtis Jones to add to that midfield against Paris, and just played Darwin and just played Salah and Diaz.
No. Okay, but I think we're just at the point now, like where we. No, I hear that, JK, but just as you should have, in my opinion. But I think the fact is that Joe and Darwin just don't take us to that 2025. Unfortunately, Joe is just the injuries. We just need to reinvest and get strikers that can. And the thing is, the striker market. There's no, apart from the main ones, but they're solidified at clubs, and we're not gonna be ambitious to go for Lachudo Martinez or someone like that, Isak, who looks like we won't both get. So we're gonna get strikers that are, well, again, you wouldn't say levels better than both of them, but maybe a little bit better. But it is what it is. We just have to hope whoever comes in, whether it's one or two strikers, they do the business and they can just get us more clinical. So we'll have to wait and see. What I'll do is I'll just read some of these comments out and I'll just play the pre-post Leicester analysis from Mr. Slaughter. Mr. Slot. Realism says, we have played in first or second gear before we still have cohesion and purpose. This seems different in my opinion, my humble opinion. Yeah.
Yep.
MK Toe says, I think regarding to Nelson swing winner at Anfield makes it extra sweet. I know JK, you want it at Anfield. Brian, are you like, I don't care, or would you just prefer it at Anfield?
Oh, don't care. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the league we're talking about. So whenever we win it. But if you're allowed to pick, then you want to win it at home. But you'd be celebrating at home anyway. You know, it'd be once we got to Tottenham if we'd won it. But
I think our point gap.
If you got to choose, if you got to choose, I'd be choosing. I want to win it at Anfield by beating Man United. That'd be the dream. Like to go out and beat them 4-0 and be crowned league champions in the same game. Perfect, absolutely perfect. With Alex Ferguson in the stand, Kenny beside him.
Oh, I love
making
that.
his faces.
Yeah, his chewing gum.
But I think this point gaps we've had with the second position, bro, is gave us choices, and this is what Arne Slot's not really understood. You know what I mean? That point gap we've had over Arsenal and the rest of the crews behind them has gave Arne Slot breathing space to experiment with the team selection and to rest players in team selections. And this is what's really annoyed me. If it was a tight title race, we wouldn't be moaning about this display we had against Leicester yesterday, 1-0, or the 2-1 against West Ham. We're bloody just happy we've got the 3 points and we've got that little space between us and Arsenal, for example. It's because we've had more than 10-point gap over these guys, It's made me more frustrated in the way Arne Slot's handled the squad. And not playing players that could have played and got us better results against Paris and Newcastle. I think he sort of just let the tires down, you know what I mean, in the way we're handling games and stuff. Like we let West Ham have a little bit of a taste of getting a result against us at Anfield. Even Leicester yesterday, they took the lead, bro. For me, that goal should have stood for them. I don't really see that as a foul on Alisson. So we've allowed a Leicester team who are absolutely rubbish go ahead against us. And the referee sort of saved us. And there's only about 10, 11, 12 minutes left after the game. More than likely, we would have got 2 goals because that's what probably we would have done. You know what I mean, bro? But still, we allowed them. And this is what I'm saying about Slot, bro. In the last few months, he's really pissed me off.
JK's is the reader. And JK's a nice guy, ladies and gentlemen.
It's got to the point, bro, where I'm thinking, you know what? What's going on right now? You got all these players who are on the fringes of leaving, not really given a chance, If you're giving the same players a chance and they're not giving you anything back, why you keep playing the same guys, bro? Just come on. And that's worrying me for next season because before, a few months ago, there was, he only wants 14 players next season. He only wants 14, 15 players, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, whoever made that comment up is deluded. Because if that's coming from Slot, that's worrying. If that's coming just from some fan who's made it up, like, come on, bro. What's that all about? What are you doing that for? You know, you got to look at the bigger picture sometimes. And the bigger picture for me is Arne Slot could have handled fringe players better and could have got better results against Paris and Newcastle. And showed better displays. Does this look like a title-winning team? No, we don't.
No.
There's certain fans, bro, who moan 24/7 to get clicks. You understand my point, though? And there's certain fans who moan once in a blue moon, and that's me. I will moan once in a blue moon.
Really?
I don't really moan, bro. Like, I can't really highlight. I've never moaned about Slot all season, bro.
Oh, JK, you haven't stopped bitching and moaning about Arne Slot for about 6 weeks now. He's been getting it both barrels from you every single day now. Come on, man.
You know why? Because there's a reason to. If we were still playing top and in the Champions League semi-finals and we would just win the League Cup, you could say, "Hey, JK, shut the fuck up." This guy has gave me reasons.
I'm not saying you have to shut the fuck. I'm just saying you
to bitch up about certain situations. You know, there's always a reason behind everything. You know, and the reason why I'm moaning right for the last month or so is because of the way we've handled business. It's as simple as that. You know, a lot of us, look how many guys were on the shows in the last few days. We did a pre-game on 12-man show. We did a late night show with Baz, and then Bernadette was there. All of us said, we don't really want to see Szoboszlai starting against Leicester. And what happened? Szoboszlai starting against Leicester. There you go. So I've got it's the manager, bro. You know, he's just being annoying, I would say. You know, how come Jurgen Klopp never really had all these sort of... Do you remember about 4 months ago? Everyone was leaving. Darwin, Jota, Harvey Elliott was going to Dortmund. It was a frenzy. And that was at the same time we were going for a title push. Yeah, all this sort of noise that goes on in the football, in a league season, just annoying. And I think if the manager at the top gets it right with team selections and resting players, because for me, Nalante knocked the nail on the head about 2 months ago, bro. This is before my 6 weeks of taking the piss out of whatever. I'm talking. And no one really sort of said anything with Nalante. Yeah, man, Nalante, you're right. Like a few of us said, yeah, true, you know. But all in all, bro, Nalante knocked the nail on the bloody head 2 months ago. We've got to rest players, and this was going into that phase of Southampton, Paris, Newcastle. That was before that, you know. And look what happened, bro. We were so deflated against Paris at home and Newcastle. It was a joke. A Chiesa comes on and scores a goal. And Harvey Elliott comes on and scores a goal against Paris. Chiesa against Newcastle. So for me, I'll rest my case, bro. Elliott, Chiesa, Darwin, Tsimikas and Endo could have all done more for us in the last 2 months than Slots gave them the chance to do. So I'm going to blame Slot for the recent form in the last 2 months. Yeah, you got fatigue, but we've got a decent squad. We've probably got the best squad in the Premier League, bro. You know what I mean? And still, he's picking Szoboszlai, McAllister and Gravenberch. For me, Gravenberch and McAllister yesterday were okay. They were sound. But Szoboszlai again, bro, non-existent. No wonder Curtis got a face like a wet fish with 3 minutes to go, coming on the pitch or whatever and thinking, you know what, I should have started this bloody game. I think Curtis has gone better mentally as a player. I've seen it in his games. Every time he plays, he just looks mentally better to play the game. He wants to win and stuff like that. Then when you see Szoboszlai starting before you, of course you can get pissed off. Chiesa, not even in the squad. Last week we had 2 goalies on the bench. Why? Because something happened with Darwin. So all this soap opera that's been going on in the last few months, bro, we didn't need that, man. We don't move like that. That's the reason why I'm a bit annoyed with Slot, because Klopp always smiled for the cameras, never gave an inkling of what's going on behind the scenes, kept it sweet. In all them years, 9 years, I've only seen Klopp have a little beef with, say, was it Sacco? And that one time is Salah. Remember? Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's the manager who keeps it sweet. You got to keep it sweet at the club with every player. For the cameras, you just got to keep it sweet because the media are like vultures. They will jump on any. Look at the soap opera we've had with the contract this year. Look at the bloody soap opera, bro. And then on top of that, Slot coming on. Yeah, I'm going to take over Liverpool while we're still in the Premier League season. You know, so it worked for me. He didn't really start off well in that way. But fair play, he's won us the league, you know what I mean? But I just hope he sort of realised how to treat players better. If you're not going to play them, cool. But we've got a big gap in the Premier League. You can give a few players a few more minutes so other guys can rest for the big games against Newcastle and Paris. So for me, he's messed it up at the end of the season. But all in all, he's done a good job in the Premier League.
Do you want him gone in the summer?
No, I just want him to. I think he's a good manager, if you understand my point. Why? Because he's winning this Premier League, and also he's cautious in that way in the way we play our football. In that way, he don't just go all the time. He's wild. Like I've seen games where we destroyed Tottenham 6-3. We went to Man City and did a job on them. That's the type of manager I want to see. We played well against Tottenham, Man City away 2-0. But against Leicester 1-0, we played not really great, bro. I don't want him gone. No, I'm not. Like, come on, bro. That's just we're talking about now, right now. We're not talking about the future. Right now, sound. He's won us the league. He's good. He's a good manager. It's his first year, you know. But I'm just worried in the way he handled the last 2 months. And I think personally himself, he would say, yeah, I didn't want to really lose 3-2 away to Fulham. I didn't want to lose to Newcastle in the final. I didn't want to lose at Anfield 1-0 to Paris and then on penalties. He probably could have done it different, you know.
But when you're in that league title race, when you're running, it's very easy to say Van Dijk, Salah, and Mac. Rest them. But then it's a Friday. There's a game on the Saturday. Which Premier League game are you resting them for? When it's still no, but I mean in October, November, December, when we're in a title race, when it's still a couple of points here and there, it's very easy.
Hard.
Then when it comes to the weekend, we're still all picking those kind of guys. So yeah, there's other bits and pieces around it, but like I've said from day one, like to me, it's never just one thing. If players aren't being picked, if players were top quality players, they'd be in our team. So maybe he could have used them more, but I think it's fairly obvious that he just and it's like some of the players that he doesn't play very often are the players that I don't think are very good. So I'm not going to argue with him about that. You know, getting knocked out with the cup in the Champions League, yeah, bad, definitely bad. He rested players in that Southampton. Like the Southampton game is when Darwin gets his start, so other people can have a rest and all of that. That's the way he thought it was going to go. Not that Darwin was going to start. I thought he rest a few, but he didn't even rest that many. So he can probably be allowed to learn on that. As long as you win a league, you're probably golden. You know, you get your chance. Like I've just said, I'm not. I don't think he's thrown any of his players under the bus publicly. I think that's just been allowed to happen because of the football media. Now, it's not, you know, even the Trent thing, he's been pretty good with that. He hasn't spoken about him. Like, people will ask him direct questions in press conferences. And you can't just say, you know, do that thing where you zip your mouth shut. You have to give some kind of worded answer. I'm not a huge fan of the style of football. You know, I don't think like he can go back to like Jurgen Klopp. Like, if you look at the football Jurgen Klopp was playing in his second full season and compared to the football we were playing in his last season, it's totally different football. We were playing nowhere near as high energy, high press. Like, those days were gone. He would, like, when Linders and him would started, you know, changing things and having a more reserved style of play, a more mixed style of play, Trent in midfield and all that. That wasn't full on gegenpressing. I wasn't really overly impressed with that either. I didn't think it worked. But yeah, just from the one criticism I would have with Slot mainly is that, just even if his best football is a more clinical version, like, I mean, up front, like, we're pretty decent with clean sheets, we're pretty good in defense. If it's just a goal, but we score more goals, but I can't see us playing a more open, slightly expansive style of football in attack. So that's one criticism I'd have him at, and it doesn't really matter how long he's here. As long as it's winning football, it's cool. Like, Rafa didn't play brilliant football, but I loved Rafa because it was really intense. It always felt like there was, well, a lot of times, but that'd be one thing I'd say about Slot, is that his style of play to me doesn't, it's not the most exciting football. I don't think it ever will be either. He loves that. Like, one of his previous players said his favorite result is 2-0. Like, if he gets 2-0 up in a game, he locks his way of playing is to lock that down, not to go for 4. Now, going for 4 can be silly. You can end up losing, drawn 2-2. We've seen at Crystal Palace, but that's what you're saying. That's the kind of manager Slot is. Like, 2-0 is the perfect result for him. You lock it down to 2-0, the game is yours. So that's just the one thing I would have about him, is that he's never going to be those Tottenham games are going to be one-offs. Yeah, they're going to be a one-off game, the 6-3s and the 5-0s. Not that lots of teams do that every week, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Nalante, are you happy with Slot's sort of style recently?
No, I mean, yeah, like Brian said, like you said, it hasn't been good enough for being so lackadaisical again. But I mean, there's again, you could say again, some people said that apparently Slot's been found out, or is it just the fact that the players are just kind of mentally checked out a bit because the league we've been so clear and Arsenal be dropping points and the manager as well. I think it's a combination of a load of things really rolled into one ball. If I'm honest, but I'll say so. Okay, but if Slot's performance hasn't been good, but I think we're being harsh that his football, whereas it hasn't been that great, because from August to January, I saw a style of football where there was the Dutch old way of controlling, and then we tapped with the 10. Because there's many great games up till January, up till about February, that I said we had good games, and even we didn't even need to win it 3-0, 4-0, but you could see the attempt from the team. So I wouldn't say his style of play has been horrible. It's just from February onwards, it's just been terrible, and it's just this decision making of players or rotation and the play has all happened. But before then, he had the balance, and that's what I wanted to see. One of his best games that people, and I know we didn't win the game, but I look about the play of the game, was the Fulham 2-2 when we were 10 men for about 70 minutes. And you saw the aggression, the play, and then his tactical changing, and then the players playing with the 10, with Gravy centre back, and you saw the changes. Jota and Nunes were trouble, and 2-2, we could have won it, And we've had good games like that. It's just the fact that, I don't know, for whatever reason, he's just gone back into, it's just kind of like, it's like they've lost how to play. I don't know. So, I don't know.
I no, just one thing. I think what you're saying, one thing I didn't mention as well, is like, when you get to this stage, like a certain stage of the season, and basically you won that league, and all you have to do is coast at home, I think you definitely do. The foot comes off the pedal subconsciously. Even. No reason to go hell for leather on it. Like, you just, so maybe there's a bit of that. Just like that atmosphere yesterday, that was like an end of season game or a pre-season game, the first half.
Yeah, and I just feel with certain games with the fans again, like I'm not at the ground. I haven't been to any of the games this season, unfortunately. So from what I see, and I'm speaking to one of the people that I do know go, I don't know. The atmosphere has been, I don't know, it's been a little bit flat, if I'm honest. And again, even in I heard one person who went to the League Cup final said the atmosphere from the fans weren't that great, which is a bit surprising. And again, I don't know whether it's, and again, every manager no one's going to be a Klopp, fist pumping, etc. Slots of more reserved demeanor coach. So I don't know if it's whether they wanted to the fans again drawing some energy from the coach, etc., or the style of play. But yeah, so yeah, it's a bit of a it's a bit of a strange one, but but again, and again, every manager is different, but and again, when the players play a certain way, it doesn't help the fans to get excited. But sometimes you just have to put that aside and just push the team throughout the 90 minutes. I get it if they're playing poor, and if they don't react to that, then it's on the players. So they're all human beings. So again, we'll see. We'll see. But we're nearly there. So, but what I'll do is I'll read some of these comments out. There's quite a few coming in here. The first one from Realism. I don't care who scores as long as Liverpool wins. Accept 50 own goals if it meant winning as many games as possible. If it equals to a trophy, which it kind of has to the last 2 months, then yeah, I guess so. Okay, reply to Nelson. Realism says, yes, I agree with Brian. We can use this time wisely instead of wasting time next season on players who don't have the minerals, both skill, tactic, and mentality wise. Cedric says, thoughts on Jota when he came on. All right, we'll quickly answer this. I'll say, and then JK and Brian will answer this. Jota, yeah, he was okay, I guess, but he should have scored. That was a complete sitter. It ain't happening for him. For me, he was just average.
Yeah, I
Brian?
agree, bro.
Brian?
Yeah,
Jota?
Jota. Yeah. His season, in a nutshell, really. Chances missed, frustration. Like it was that interview he did. It's going back a while now. I think it was a pre-Champions League game, and he was saying that this is something along the lines of this is his worst season. And
Yeah.
I think we can all agree with that. It's been one of his worst. So yeah, just unlucky hits the bar, hits the post, whatever it was, and another day goes in, but it didn't. It's just going to peter out. Like it's just crazy. Some of these guys, they're as much as we're criticizing their abilities and all of that, and rightly so. Dom, Jota, Nunes, whoever it might be. We've seen it. It's not like Chiesa. We haven't seen Chiesa get 3 games. It's like we've all seen Darwin. We've all seen Jota. We've all seen Dom this whole season now. I think the writing is on the wall. Jota, but they're all in the league with league title medals. That's something that a lot of Liverpool greats don't even have.
No, that's fair enough, bro. That is a fair enough answer. That's true. That's very true. It's very true. It's crazy, isn't it? How football works.
Yeah, Steven Gerrard, what
Yeah.
would he give for 5 minutes every 10 games if it meant he got a league?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is crazy. It's absolutely crazy, man.
Very strange. Readers says anybody would have a problem with Morgan Rogers for Sobo. How much worse can Rogers be? Okay, we'll answer that. No for me. Good player, but no for me. JK Brian?
It's JK's part of the world.
Yeah.
What's the buzz on Morgan Rogers around Birmingham? I've seen, he looks great, but he looks great in a Villa team. Are you going to be the one to take a chance on him? I'm sure I'd say even right now, he'd be better. Yeah, probably him in the form he's in now would definitely better than Dom, but says so much about Dom as well, doesn't it? He just bring a lot of energy and stuff, but I haven't seen much of him. I see like the highlights. You see bits when he scores goals and stuff.
Mm.
And he scored a fair few this year, hasn't he? I mean,
he has actually. To be fair, yeah, he has. Yeah.
So,
JK, Morgan Rogers, Villa. JK.
Yeah. The Rogers guy.
yeah.
Would you replace Roger? Would you replace
Top-
Sobo for Rogers? what realism
I
was.
tell you the truth, I would.
Fair play.
Yeah, he's a good little player, Rogers. I watched a lot of his games. Ex-Man City, he's a good little player, bro. But I can't really see him leaving Villa.
No. I agree. Edward says, I think this is our style of play now. Not necessarily Edward, because we played better again, like as I was saying in my previous comments. So I don't think so, but things need to change up. But that's fair enough, Edward. Says we're gonna win the league. One more win. Indeed, one more win, and then I'll be on camera. Believe me. Don't you worry about it, Edward. But yes, indeed. Big up, Dara. Hope you well, Dara. Keeping the good old Arizona nice and safe. Dara says the only way we keep Dara as if we can't find a buyer for him. No, we'll. Yeah, that's true. But Dara, I think I'll speak with JK and Brian. There's buyers for Darwin. We will be selling him. There's teams out there, not even just Saudi, Europe, who want Darwin. So
Yeah, lots of
it's just a
interest.
question of price. Yeah, exactly. Hash says hi, JK Nalanti, Brian in the chat. Big up, Hash. Good afternoon. What part of the world? Yeah, guys, let us know what part of the world are you guys in. Hope you're well, Hash. Hope you're good. Mr. Dominic, he's given a lot of transaction. Big up, like, share, subscribe, guys. My LFC history. Okay, like that. Love the pick. I'm not convinced Sobo is good enough for us. Now that is just my view. I hope he proves me wrong as I'm often wrong. And yeah, that's fair enough. We all do. Whether we rate or don't rate whoever comes in, we hope if we don't rate them to prove wrong. I know I have. And yeah, but it's just not happening. Okay, says hello to all of us.
Yeah, that's Norm.
Oh, that is normal. Okay, yo, that's true.
Norm's
Right,
new
right,
channel.
okay.
Yeah, that's Norm's new channel.
No, right. Big up, Norm. Yeah, okay. Had me off guard there. Okay, no problem. Big up, Norm. Agreed. He said he agrees with me, but for every time he hasn't been found, there's been 3 times as many times where he has flopped. Okay, Darwin. Okay, yeah, fair enough, Dara. Fair enough. JK, you want to read this great chat? You want to read this one? This is straight directly to you.
Yeah, that's funny.
Coming out in a shop near you in 2 weeks' time.
The first ever JK merch has to
There you
be
go.
on
That's the one. I'm blaming
Exactly.
Slot.
Exactly. We shall be there on the parade. A reason. Big up everyone. Okay, this one's for you, bro. I'll let you deal with this one.
Oh, no, it's more for JK. He's just saying he is
That's
rather
all for
harsh.
me.
Oh,
Yeah, but he understands the criticism because for me, real Liverpool fans don't slaughter the team or the manager, the players on a constant every show, every game, blah blah blah. You know, the real ones will highlight certain things that near the end of the season. You know what I mean? Like the job's nearly done, so there's a chance for us who are real fans to highlight a few things that could be better. You know what I mean? But for me, the way the Slots just handled the last 2 months, he could have done a better job for me. Simple as that. Especially when you see an Arsenal in the bloody semi-final. Come on. If that don't wind you up, I don't know what. And then Newcastle doing a procession
I'm
because
worried.
they win the League Cup, bro. Then that wind you up. Come on.
Yeah. Well,
True
I'm
fans,
afraid-
that winds you up, bro. And there's fans who moan all the time. We don't do that as guys. We're pretty sort of in the middle, you know? And that's why when Nalante was on about the rest period, like you got to rest guys, he was serious, you know? He wasn't just saying it for another week just to make stuff up. Dropping facts. And that's what it is. But you understand what I mean by the last few months. Not great.
Yeah. As you eloquently put JK, yeah. No, I've only mowed Maxwell about once, and Brian says it's been the 6 weeks.
But the same,
I
but the
get quiet because I
same.
know I've been on him quite a bit, so I'll be a biggest lie if I said that. But yeah, funny stuff from both of you. Yeah, big up realism. You know realism. You know, like I said, I remember realism. I was shut down. I was told no. Even Mo on the bench, I was shut down. People telling me Mo needs to play every game when he doesn't. And yeah, realism. Thank you, bro. You remember. Like I said, I'm not an expert. You can see these things. You can just see. We're all opinionated, but yeah. I think JK doesn't like slots man management style. Yeah, yeah. JK's it's getting JK a bit irritated. The JK's a nice guy.
Yeah, like for me, remember when I used to say I don't like players on the bench who are
Yeah,
stroppy? It's an energy, bro. And Slot's
yeah.
energy hasn't been great around the club the last 2 months, and it's as simple as that. Football is an energy-driven game. When your energy is not right in the changing rooms, you're not going to win nothing.
Mm.
And
I've
that's
got
what
a
I was
question.
saying. Keep the squad sweet. You got to keep it sweet. Yeah, go on, Lanta.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll just read some of these comments and we'll just play the press conference. And I've got a question for you and Brian and the chat. It's a very interesting one. You just kind of made me think about it, both of you, certain bits you were saying. But yeah, I'll just quickly go through this. I'll play the press conference as well. Abdul, I'll big up yourself, Abdul. Hope you well, my friend. Always showing love and support to all the channels. Hi to all of us. Like, comment, yeah, big up Abdul. Yep. A win is a win, but we move on to Spurs game. Win this, we win the league. Jeff, 97, you never walk alone. Big up Abdul, man. Always showing love. All managers have their ways and favourites. Bang on. Spot on, Edwards. Whether we agree or disagree, they do. They do. Realism says Slot does have a little blame, but the club do need to step up and give him signs he will use. We can see he's not a fan of Endo, Elliot, Chiesa, Nunes, Simicas, Kwanzaa. Yeah, looks like it, or maybe not. In the next month, 2 months, we'll see. We'll get a clear indication. Also, realism says we say that, but how many times have City walked the league but still played well enough to score 3+ goals? Again, City are different. They play a different way. They've got a manager who has a system implemented, and they play a different style, and it works. It can work, but every manager is different. So let's see. Abdul says the way we're playing is very predictable. Movement of play is the same. Tactics are the same. Same players and part by passing side to side. Okay. He also says, how do Endo and Chiesa get a game at LFC? Some of our players are playing average and also in and out of game. We need fresh players in rotation. As realism said, Abdul, comments, facts, but it's not going to happen. We need few players in January to challenge for the Champions League against PSG, the Carabao Cup final against Newcastle, and FA Cup against Plymouth. What I would say, Abdul, less of the Plymouth game because the rotation we should have won. Whoever we played, we should have won that. By the other games, I think me, Brian, and JK, yeah, we all said we should, but this is Liverpool FC and FSG, unfortunately. So, right, Abdul says, if Trent doesn't sign the contract renewal at LFC, do you think we need another right back to challenge Conor Bradley in that position? Thanks. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll start with you, Brian. Your opinion on this from Abdul, and then yourself, JK, afterwards.
Yeah, I've said that's a really hard one because if you're going to have a Bradley, if you're going to trust Bradley to start, which it looks like you might, what kind of player do you bring in? Do you bring in someone younger than him? Bring in someone older than him? Then you've got rotation issue. Then you've got an idea problem trying to keep someone else happy. So that's a really, really difficult one to do because you either bring in someone that is straight up replacing Trent and Bradley is back up again. But if you're going to trust Bradley to be the starting right back, then his understudy, you could end up looking like having someone even less experienced than him. So that's a really, really difficult transfer to get right.
No, that's fair enough, Brian. JK?
Yeah, I think it would hinder his development if you bring a guy who's probably older. Good player, Bradley, for me. Good enough to play for Liverpool. I think he sports Liverpool as well since he was young. So yeah, for me, I have no problem with Bradley. I'd rather bring another youth player in behind Bradley to develop. But it all depends on Bradley's fitness as well.
No, that's fair enough. That is fair enough. And yes, as we do, and realism, and yes, please subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. There can be more stuff in the pipeline, and obviously Irishman's got his own channel as well. Like honestly, we've all got stuff in the pipeline, so keep up the support. So much appreciated. Shout out. Abdul says again. Okay, Abdul's got a few questions in here. Okay. Do we need a defensive midfielder to reinforce the midfield to give stability, strength, support, and protect the back four? We'll just quick answer that. That's a yes for me.
Yes, as well for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. Abdul says we need a number 9 that can score goals. Are we going to sell D Nunes or Darwin? Someone, how much we're going to get to him to get a prolific striker that can score goals like Prime Torres and Prime Suarez? Okay, you know what? We'll answer this, and I'll read the last 2 comments, and we'll play the press conference. So, I'll go first with this. Look, I think the boys, yeah, we are going to sell Darwin. I think Slot has made it clear for quite some time. And last week is I'm ill business is a cop out for me. So yeah, he's going. How much are we going to get for him? Again, it depends. Regionally, if we're going Saudi, I think we can get about 60 mil. If it's Europe, 45 if we am. Prolific striker, I don't think we're going to get a prolific striker only because the ones that are out there, we won't, FSG are not like that. If we put pressure on Martinez, I like Lautaro Martinez from Inter, Brian knows, we could have a possibility of getting him, and then Isaac is going to be 100 M's, and we're not going to stump up the cash for them. And so, unfortunately, the striker will come and will be good, but it'll be a question of can he be clinical? That's the thing. So it's not going to be a little bit of an improvement, but it won't be that, because our owners won't get that. And it's like in terms of Prime Thomas and Suarez striker, no, we ain't going to get someone like that, unfortunately. But someone that's going to improve the levels a bit. But can they be that? We're going to see. Yeah, JK, you can answer that, and then Brian can answer that. Abdul's question.
Yeah, it depends on certain games like we need in the 9. Like Yota, he weren't really at the races. So imagine we had a 9 who could score goals in them games. I reckon we would have won them. So for me, whoever's going to come in, they've got to be big time. I can't really see Isaac price wise, but you never know. See what happens. But Martinez is the guy who I would say is so suited. He would just be big time at Liverpool.
Lautaro.
Right?
Yeah, he'd happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
we wouldn't
sort of made
have.
for Liverpool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the money they'd be able to ask for him. Same problem with Isaac, and I don't think he wants to leave Inter either. But yeah, I'd love us to just go out and get Isaac because it's not flavor of the month. It's like talking about Judge Darwin I judged Darwin after 2 years. Well, 6 months it wasn't looking good, but give him at least you gave him the 2 years. Now he's had year 3. Dom 2 years of just being a moments player, not consistently good enough. Isaac has had 2 years now where he's looking at getting 25 goals at least, and 20 plus seasons in a row in the Premier League. That's just proven. So something like that would just be, that'd be the dream. But yeah, I'm like Jake or like Nilante said, it's a difference in price. Yeah, if we sell him to Saudi, we'd be able to get most of our money back. But I think a European club, the kind of club he'd have to be moving to, wouldn't be paying more than 40 for anybody because they can't afford it. not just a Darwin thing. 40, 45. But yeah, Saudi would get 60, 65. Slot's been listening to your comments, Jacob. He's like, this guy. Every time with this.
And that coincides with realism's chat. See, I see how mixed the tea. See, oh my god, JK, you got a little explaining to do. Me and Brian will sit here with the popcorn. And we'll be there as backup, just to support you as a friend. You know, with your conversations with Slot. Like what I have to do, as Brian says. Oh, perfect time. Okay, so I'm just going to play the press conference, guys. It's about 6.5 minutes. And then we'll just both the three of us and you guys as well in the chat. Apologies for any system failure with my network anyway. If it goes a bit haywire, I'll turn it off, but we'll just play it just to see what Arnie's gonna post conference after the game anyway.
Is it loading up? Yeah. We just wait for Nalante so he can get that sorted. It should be cool.
Sorry guys, sorry about that. I think the went. Can you guys hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'll try one more time. If not, then I'll just stop it anyway. So I'll just apologies. I'll just try one more time, and if not, then we'll stop it. So part 2. Apologies, everyone. Tell you what, Wi-Fi can be so annoying at times.
There's nothing on the screen here for me anyway. I don't know if you guys can hear me. No?
Yeah, I can hear. I just think
Yeah.
the like
There's
loading
nothing.
up takes a bit of time.
Just waiting. Player, I mean, to score with 26 shots just shows how much he's dominated.
Yeah, I think we did. We dominated definitely, which is also what you could expect if you go to Leicester. But I think you also have to give credits to Ruud van Nistelrooy, who just keeps trying to play in the best possible way. And I saw a few very good of them also today. It's not a team that kicks every ball long. They try to play, they try to create, and but yeah, you can expect that we are the team that creates most chances. And it's the first time since I'm here that we've missed so many big chances. Because normally we are better in scoring one of them. But today it was not a big chance that we scored. It was again a set piece in another big moment for us to score in a set piece, with us putting so much effort in it for 9 or 10 months now. Feels really good that in the moment we need most, although we needed it against Paris Saint-Germain as well when we headed it on the post as well. Now big moments for us to score as a piece.
Will it feel extra special if you do indeed win a title in front of your fans? Your fans have been sensational.
Yeah, they definitely were. But I think the only thing the fans want is us winning the league. After it would be every moment that it happens, it would be special for them. But definitely looking forward to next week, because I assume that Arsenal, because they're such a good team, is able to win during the week. So we probably have to do it ourselves. And the first chance we have is next week against Tottenham.
Top corner.
They're so good in all different phases of the game, and now they've become.
Look like you're 44 a bit.
Sorry.
It looked like you're 44 seconds.
Yeah, it looks like we seem to. Can you hear me, Brian?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I think the Lantern lost his internet. See if he's fixed it. You can hear us now, yeah?
Yeah, apologies about that. Yeah, sorry. I don't know what bait did you guys get to? Can you hear me
Mm,
now?
Which part of the... Mhm.
Yeah.
What bit did you guys get to?
Well, it was breaking up a lot for me, anyway.
Okay,
It was
all right.
breaking up a
No,
lot, bro, yeah.
okay, don't worry. I won't bother anyway. I won't bother to play it again. Yeah, because you just give me issues. So, otherwise it'll be it'll be the robotic conference. But yeah, so basically, he was just saying basically the importance of the game. You know, just the Trent's basically contract. Obviously, I'm not going to mention it. Look, he's got. I want right about the right reasons. Him scoring the goal. Obviously, to talk about Arsenal. How, as we discussed, how you want to win it. Obviously, discussed about Mikel. Obviously, he's sure that Arsenal will win. In that person, like Mikel's not going to, the usual. He's not going to give up. He's not going to hand us the league. They'll win, and then we'll win, and all that business. And then obviously, I think they tried to get at the Darwin thing, which he kind of dismissed anyway. So yeah, that was just basically it anyway. So
What was the question about Darwin?
no, they're just saying basically in the press conference saying what is the situation with Darwin, and he just kind of basically dismissed it. Just said
Oh,
the focus is on next week players getting the rest, and then next week they have 1 or 2 days off, and basically then after that then they'll be able to focus against Spurs.
yeah, they've all got 2 days off now, as far as I
Yeah,
know.
2 days off in it, yeah, and then Spurs, yeah. And the Spurs game will come. So that's always. But apologies about that, guys. And obviously the chat, yeah, Stan Wi-Fi. Yeah, I might have to sort this out because yeah, that wasn't great. But at least you got a little bit. Something is better than nothing. But yeah. But what I was gonna ask you guys, because there's something that came into my head because I'm just obviously we talked about Slobbo and Jones. So, and the chat, if you can answer this, out of the two, if you again, I know the phrase "put a gun to your head." Out of Jones and Slobbo, who would you let go out of the two if there was a choice to be made? Because obviously Slobbo has had a lot of flack, and we've just discussed. And for me, he hasn't produced also, but he's had moments, probably not enough, games. And then Jones is a funny one, Curtis, because he's played good games in the 10. When I think Slobbo was out of form, and he's been starting, but he's a bit been in and out. And in certain games, he's been like for instance last week against West Ham, he played in the 10. I thought he was average, and I don't, and me personally, both these players, I don't want to see them in the 10. If I unless I'm just hypothetically, unless there's an injury, say we had someone in and an Elliot, I'd rather them both be, Jones is more in the double pivot, and I think Sobo for me would be better further backs. But what are you guys in the chat? You can tell me if you had, and you can elaborate on it however you want. Out of the two, Sobo and Jones, who would you let go and why? So we'll start off. JK, you can start this off, and then Brian, you can answer, and the chat also.
I would say Szoboszlai. Yeah. It's a pity as well. He's a good player, you know what I mean? But I think right now, lackluster. So, like Darwin, remember, like this was for me. I know at the start of the season, this is an important season for Darwin and Curtis Jones. I think Curtis, he's doing okay. He's improved. Szoboszlai, yeah, he's improved a little bit, but he hasn't really kicked on. You know what I mean? So I'm ready to let him go.
Brian, who would you let go out of the two?
Sorry. Oh crap. I don't really rate either of them. I just think Jones is a good squad player. Don't think Jones is ever going to, break into our team and stay in it and become a top midfielder in Europe. I just think he's just a really good squad player. So then, yeah, I'd be keeping him to keep him in the squad, even though he probably wouldn't be very happy about that. Then you could sell Szoboszlai, probably still get. We paid what 60, probably get 50. So you could reinvest, like you could bring in someone who's going to start rather because Jones wouldn't be starting. So I'd sell Szoboszlai and just bring in a new guy in that position rather than selling Jones and
Yeah.
we're left with Bosley still. So
Or get a DM in and push Gravenberch up with McAllister. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Gravenberch is an out DM.
me either. No, I don't. I've been saying that all year now. I want to see him in the 8.
He's a good player. Good player. But I just feel
Box to box.
he,
Grav.
yeah, man, yeah, he's more like that. So yeah, I think if you got rid of Sobotlai, push Gravenberch into his position and then get a proper DM, then you could put him Curtis, Elliot, whatever, whoever is going to stay out of that. You know, that would be my move on that one.
Okay. No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. For me, I'll probably let Sobel go, to be honest. I think Jones, though he's frustrating, he's improved as a player, but he's still certain things he needs to get out of his system. But Jones, yeah, I think Brian said it, squad player. He's had runs where he's been good in Klopp, even slot, and then little his niggles have come, and then he's been in and out. But yeah, Jones for me over Sobel, to be honest. Okay, Abdul says, "Oh wow, he's got the list out." He's on point. Which one of these players will have a future? I won't go through the names because I think we can all see the names. I'll say, for me, out of that list, I'll say about 4 players out of that list can still have a future at the club. What do you guys reckon?
Well, yeah, the kids. It's hard to know. I'd say
That's the thing.
other than the kids, two maybe.
Mm-hmm. I'd say about 4. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of
yeah.
yeah, it's kind of damning, isn't it? Like for us to say that, then it just kind of shows, yeah, you know, certain players and the academy wise, because yeah, I'm not. Yeah, again, it's very hard to say because I could be completely wrong, but I don't know. I'm just not sure certain academy graduates will get the break, but we'll see.
Well, the chance even.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Nalos and the Mbayas and the Neonis. It's really that Rio. It's really hard to
say, isn't it?
predict
Yeah,
what. But yeah, anything can happen. But I know the likes of like Kumas and Dan's are a bit further ahead than them. Chambers is too. Gordon. Okay, Gordon. Yeah. He's probably. So, yeah, Mabaya, he's the right back, isn't he?
yeah.
He got a
yeah,
game in the
exactly.
cup. He was the guy that
Yeah.
got taken off in the cup game, wasn't it? Came
Yeah,
on and got
Maguire,
taken
yeah,
off.
exactly. With Joey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really hard to know what to like them. I like Neoni. And Rio. Everybody likes a Rio type player, one of those tricky little wingers. We all like them, so hopefully it works out. I see one player he didn't have on that list though was Ben Doak.
Yes, that's true. The Mr.
Been
Dog.
injured, well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing well at Borough.
He's doing good, but he's been injured for the past month.
Yeah. He had a good start to the season, didn't he?
Yeah. He's a good little player, bro. But look, it all depends on the philosophy of how Arnie Slot wants his football club run. Does he think about the youth players in the way, say, Klopp did? See the way he brought in Kwanzaa, Bradley, you know what I mean? He brought them guys through, bro. And you've seen it with Slot. He had a bit of a run-in with Kwanzaa at the start of the season and stuff. That wouldn't have happened under Klopp. You know what I mean? I think it's important we need to see which way Slot's going to go. Because at the end of the day, if he seems to have his first set 11, there's no real chance of the younger players getting a chance. Now, only for me had a great pre-season. You know, falling out the FA Cup didn't do us any favours because of game time. I think a lot of players would have got game time in the FA Cup. But it all depends on Slot's sort of thinking regarding youth
Well, we
players.
would have got
Does he want
Man
to bring
City
them
as
through?
well. Don't forget that if we had beaten Plymouth, we would have been playing Man City. That was
Yeah,
the draw in the FA Cup. So
beating
we might have
yeah.
really gotten one more game as well. As when we think back, we might have only got one more game out of it. But no,
Look,
I
I
know you
would
said
rather
like that
see,
would have been the
yeah,
plan for an FA Cup run. Would have been to give younger players
a
that run.
chance. You know what I mean? Game time.
Yeah.
Yeah, show you
Yeah,
what they're
but
all about.
that would have been a hell of a year, though. Well, I just mean like it didn't happen, but I mean we draw on PSG, winning the Champions League table, whatever, or winning the group stages, whatever you want to call it, finishing top in that, and drawing a team that's turned out to be one of the best in form in Europe, one of the biggest sides. That was a horrible draw. And if we'd gotten through
But,
against Plymouth and gotten City in the FA Cup, that
but
would
do
have
you
just
reckon? But like, don't you reckon they should have done it like this? The top two teams get a bye because they finished top. That's how they should have done it for me. Two teams who finish top get a bye into the quarterfinals. That's how they should have done that for me. Then you would have had a real competitive league. You know what? We want to finish top two, so we don't have to play in a 16 game. That would have been a top thing they could have done. Top two straight through to the quarterfinals. Bang.
yeah, just the way it worked, like the way they tried to rig it was basically that all the teams would finish up near the top and the smaller teams down near the bottom. They just didn't figure on teams like PSG messing it up.
Mm.
Real Madrid having a bad one as well.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't part of the plan. So yeah, it was just
Yeah.
we would have been better off. Who did second place? Yeah, second place got Benfica,
Barca.
I think, wasn't it?
Barca, yeah, we could have
They
got
got
them.
Benfica. So
Yeah,
if we'd finished second, that would have been much more of what you'd be expecting. A Benfica or a Bruges, a Benfica worse,
Mhm.
like a Club Bruges, something like that.
I know, but we still could have got Benfica. It was just the luck of how the draw went out. There was just a number of names. That's all.
Oh, you're right. Yes, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's true. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It
So
did come down to a draw in the end. Yeah, but
yeah, but it's just unfortunate we just got the other end of the stick. That's all. That's all it was really. I think with that the league. I mean, I'm not really fussed that who we did. Yeah, in hindsight, really, but I'm not bothered about that if I'm honest. But again, even with finished top, I just don't like it. I prefer the old format, in my opinion.
Same
I
as.
just prefer
Same
that.
as.
oh yeah,
I prefer
Yeah,
the
yeah.
old. This is just just it is what it is, and it's just playing. I don't know why we need to play 2 extra games. It's just
Ridiculous,
more
bro.
money. Yeah.
It's like football's in the wrong hands. I've been saying it since day one.
Yeah.
The way that what they do with the national teams, that Nations League bullshit they done. You know what I mean? Like, come on, who needs that? No one. Give the players a rest. Say, you know what? There's an international break with no football. Job done.
Yeah.
You're gonna get more exciting football later on. You know what I'm saying? So, the Champions League format, I didn't like it as soon as it came out, even though we finished top, bro. I just didn't like it. I just think it's too pre-planned. You know who you're gonna get if you win this, that. I don't like that. I like it to be a surprise.
Yeah.
To do a draw every round, bang bang. You know what I mean? That's the way to do it. Keep it. If it's not broke, why you need to fix it? And these guys are always overcomplicating football. Football is a game you don't overcomplicate. It's a simple game. You know. And if you haven't noticed in the way football is now, you got smart Alex all over Twitter. This guy, he's burnt this much fat, he ran this many meters, he ran on this much grass, and all these sort of things is overcomplicating football. For me, the basics is the eye test. Okay, and not the Champions League format was a top format. Didn't need to mess around with it. You got to understand also, we sort of got the negative side of the international breaks because all of our team is full of internationals. So these guys are jetting off here, there, and everywhere, training and playing as well. Virgil, captain of Holland. Sabotzo, captain of his country. All these guys are captain Robertson. All these guys, man, Salah, and all these guys all got the same burnout at the same time. So international football does pay a part of fatigue throughout the season. You know what I'm saying? So for me, international football friendlies need to be sort of taken away. I think that I'd rather give the players a few weeks off. Too much football. Us guys love football. I love watching football every day on the TV. No problem. At the end of the day, the way we sort of in 2 seasons in a row now, our team are just sort of deflated. So that's because we've got too many internationals in our team, bro. And they're all going every international break. It ain't like even Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones, Kwanzaa, them guys are going international football now. You know what I mean? There's no one really in the team who stays at home. Endos goes, Simikas, all of them, bro.
Oh, in our team, I'd say those to start. Maybe Jones and Elliott. Gaza at the moment. Maybe Jones and Elliott. Yeah, I'd say 90% of our boys go away.
Yep. I'll say
That's the thing as well.
Look,
People
they'll have-
want more Euro or South American players in your team as well. You have to take that stuff into account as well. Like the amount of times Bobby was coming back, starting a game or Diaz 26 hours after they played their previous game and they traveled. This kind of craziness. Yeah, people. I don't like the Nations League. The one thing about the Nations League is it has gotten rid of a lot of, not all of, but a lot of international friendlies. At least it is a kind of a competitive thing now because they're going to play these games. If they're not going to get rid of them, I'd rather watch a competitive kind of structured league than just for England playing San Marino in another friendly, meaningless game where they just throw on a load of players and they end up getting injured. So if they're going to be played, I'd rather watch Spain versus Holland the other week. That was a Nations League game. That was top game. But yeah, again, I'd just rather there was none of it. But all they're doing now, with the Europa League or with the Champions League, yeah, just unless you finish in the top 8 or whatever it is, you have another 2 rounds of games. That's just for TV and for money. Now with this one in the summer, it's for TV, for money. They're just, if it was up to them, you would have, I think so. I saw some manager say the other day they've got 10 days off. That's pretty much it between the end of the season and the start of the next season with everything that's going on. Players have 10 days off, 2 weeks between seasons. That's insane. It used to be 2 months.
Yeah.
Absolutely mental. Play that kind of, just, and Klopp, I think Klopp, one of the first kind of times Klopp was speaking, it would have been probably about 6 or 7 years ago now. And we were up against City, and people, the commentator or the reporter must have been praising how good the football was. I think it was when we were going toe to toe with them, winning every game. And he was saying, wow, you're both playing amazing football and you're putting up these great points totals, something like that. And Klopp was saying, if you think this is good football, if you think the way we play is good, you should see what would happen if we had proper pre-seasons. He says we're getting a couple of weeks with these boys. If we had proper time, if there wasn't so many games and so many tournaments, and managers, he said, especially a manager like Mr. Guardiola, if he had 6 weeks with a squad in the summer to train them, you should see the football they'd be playing then. Because this is what we're doing, and we only have 2 weeks to prepare these guys, 3 weeks. Proper training before we go into a season. So the standard of football would be better. There'd be less of it, but the standard of football would be better too.
No, 100%. No, I definitely agree with that. It's yeah. I mean, Leicester said about UEFA and FIFA and their understanding about players and rest and welfare, but the less said than better. But yeah. Okay, we'll go over some of these. Abdul says, we'll answer. Actually, no, all these questions we'll answer. I think is a bit of a day of any questions you put in the chat, we'll elaborate on all of them because you put in some interesting ones. Abdul says, do you think Arne Slot's tactics are being found out? We are winning by 1 goal difference. No, it's a little bit more, Abdul. It's definitely not 1 goal difference, but he. I understand a win is a win, and also winning the Premier League, 20 titles club. I'll answer that briefly. I'm going to say no. Next season will tell us a bit more. What do you guys think?
Yeah, too early to
Too
too early to
yeah.
say it's found out or anything like that. Yeah.
You the same, JK? Okay, I'm guessing he says yeah. He says no as well. Okay, Abdul says Kirkes is going to cost us 50 mil. Do you think that's a lot of money? Yes, but it's just they play a market price at the moment. Unfortunately, so this is what it's going to be. If that's what it is, we get rid of either Simicast or Robo, get him in. So be it. I'm sure that's a yes from you, Brian.
Well, it's probably going right, isn't it? Yes, it is a lot of money, but it's probably
Yeah,
also the going right.
yeah, 100%. JK, you agree with that, JK? Okay, I'm guessing that's a yes for JK as well. I think got JK. Abdul says we should have gone for Alcrava, Isaac, and Mbemu. We need to sell players at the right to get money back for new players that's a quality and proven. Yeah, that's fair enough. Ubemo, I wouldn't want him. I don't think he's Liverpool material. He's a good player. The other two, yeah, that's a yes from all three of us. I'll just say it now. I'll speak for all two of them. Yes, that's a big yes. Realism says Slot does. Oh, okay, yeah, the stream, yeah, yeah. Slot's not happy with JK. We get, yeah, definitely realism. I get it. That's our remaining fixtures. That's right, Abdul. Okay, question for all of us: how much confidence will Slot get from winning the Premier League? This will allow him to be more flexible and less rigid, with now having credit in the bank after winning the Premier League. Well, yeah, we'll answer this, Brian. You want to start off with this from realism? Question for all of us.
Well, I'm sure he'll take a huge amount of confidence from it. Well, let's allow him to be more flexible, less rigid. That's the interesting one. You know, like how many like does he have more credit in the bank with the club now that he's won it than or more trust from the people that hired him now that he's won it? They probably, you know, it won't be that kind of way. It's oh, you've won the league, now you can go and pick whatever 4 or 5 players you want. So I think they will have had their plans aligned anyway. But it can really the best thing that does, other than like within the squad itself, but it also just says to targets people that you want to bring to the club. You know, this is the club you're joining. So yeah, definitely credit in the
Okay.
bank with players you might want to bring in if you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, 100%. No, I agree. JK?
Yeah, I think he could have done that now. A bit more flexible, less rigid in the past month or so, you know. Played a bit better. So I know he wants to get the job done, hence why he's picking the same players and stuff like that. But hopefully he does it differently next season. You know, when they always say, wait until he gets his players in. Okay, we'll see if the owners give him that money to get the players in and give him the players he needs to sort of play, maybe win the Champions League as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. I think, yeah, I echo what both of you both say, so I won't really say much of that. But yeah, I agree with both of your points. Definitely. Abdul says LFC last 5 games. Okay, Newcastle, Everton, Fulham, West Ham, Leicester game, only 1 goal difference. Oh, is that what you're on about, Abdul, before? Okay.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
I'll
Yeah.
be on about. I think you meant to say, okay, T improving games, Team more goals, improving. Yeah, facts. That's all I can say. Facts upon facts, racks upon racks, stacks upon stacks. So we look Tired, fatigue, mistakes, errors, sloppy play. Yep, indeed. It says, our movement of play is predictable by Arne Slot and LFC players on the pitch. We need to take our chance in game tactics. Okay.
Change like game tactics. Like if we're doing something in a certain way and it's not really working, like switch it up a bit or do something different. Put your foot down a little bit.
Yeah,
think
I think with that
because of the players.
JK. Yeah, sorry, JK. Go on. You're going to say.
Now we've got the players who've already done it, bro. Full pace football, change gears. You know what I mean? It ain't like they're all new guys to the game, so that's why.
No, that's fair enough. I think with that, he has been flexible between up to January. He's changing it or changing formation or flexibility with. He moves Gravenberch to the right. He's very good at flexible, changing little tweaks, but just of now, he's just I don't know what's going on, but yeah, he definitely can be flexible. Okay, so Abdul will do Sobo Jones debate. Very hard for JK and Brian to choose. Very difficult one. But I will sell Sobo because he's in games. Bench Jones because of homegrown and Scouser. Fair enough. Okay, there's a question for all of us here for realism. Was the 60 million spent on Sobo a waste? Oh,
Yeah.
let me see. Oh, for you, yeah? Okay. Oh, yeah, JK, that's true. That's an easy one. God. Yes, for me, Brian.
Well, he hasn't performed for, it's same with Darwin Nunes as well. It's like the Nunes conversation is going down a lot of like, oh, under slot. Yet, like I have to keep saying, he didn't. He played 2 years under Klopp and was not good. Got dropped a lot by Klopp. Got benched a lot by Klopp. And it's the same with Dom. He wasn't great last year. Under the manager that bought him, the team that brought him in, and a different manager, but given just as many minutes. So he's had you've seen him in different roles. It's not like, oh, I don't know, a manager bought him and got sacked and a new guy comes in. He's had 2 full seasons now under different managers playing attacking role, and it's so a waste. It's only a waste if you end up selling them for 15 million. If you get most of your money back, I think it'll be fine.
No, I like that. That's a fair assessment, bro. I think that's a fair assessment. And Abdul elaborates on that. Can we get our money back on Sobo? JK will love this. Some European team will buy him for around 40 mil or 60 mil. Other LFC channels rate Sobo. Sobo is average in and out of games. Fair enough. Everyone has the different opinions of Sobo, which is fair enough. I think I know what channels you're speaking about, Abs. What do you think about Doet, Ben Doak, Bashicek, Nat Phillips, and Reece Williams? Nothing. That's what I think. Nothing.
I'd keep the first 2, and the other 2
Yeah.
should have been sold, I think, by now.
Yeah, I mean, the Nat Phillips one is a bit of a mystery. I don't know why he's still there at the club. Just silly. Just wasted him in it in his career. Just let him go, Reece. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think we'll all see with that, guys. Abdul says we need to. Huh? Oh right. Okay, I got it. We need to scrap. Sorry, apologies, Abdul. The Conference League, International Friendlies, Nation League, new Champions League and Europa League format. VAR needs to be improved. Remove biased referees and review all performance end of the year.
Spot on with everything he says there. Spot on. No, honestly, like, bro, we might be laughing about it, but exactly what you wrote there is exactly what we need to do. But for me, Conference League, cool. Keep the Conference League. I ain't really moaning about it. That's like the UEFA Cup or Cup Winners' Cup. But everything else there, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just looking at it.
Brian.
Sorry, Nat Phillips is at Derby on loan, and Reece Williams is at Morecambe on loan. So that's where they're at the moment. That tells you everything you need to know about them. Morecambe, that's a pretty low level. I didn't know he'd gone down that far.
Yeah, Reese. I think
They're
it's a
in,
little
yeah,
bit.
they're in League Two.
Yeah,
That's Reese Williams.
yeah. I think it's a little bit better than that, but yeah, I think Phillips. When we had him in the market, we should have sold him by now. I think just incompetence by the board.
Yeah, he's
That's the
24. Phillips 28, so I'm
yeah,
assuming he's
20,
probably out of contract this year.
yeah.
But
But I
Reese
think
Williams, younger than I thought he
yeah,
was.
yeah. But I think we should have got rid of them. I mean, I don't know why they're still on loan and books, but anyway, we'll see. Regards to Abdul's comment, I think we need some international friendlies. I think that, but they just have to be very selective. That's what I think because otherwise, none of these nations can go to. I know they've got the World Cup qualifier games, but they need some kind of So if you do just lessen it or just do it, just structure the calendar, then fine, no problem. Because I understand the international managers is quick, so they need something to work on. So that's what I'll say. Again, Abdul says we need to separate club football and international football. Players are getting injured, tired, and fatigued. I think, yeah, Brian and I think Jake, who spoke about this, I think it's more the number of games, and that's down to the
Mm.
incompetence of the UEFA and FIFA, which have been said. People, unfortunately, have had heart attacks, collapsed, unfortunately died, and they're still not listening. They still want to be money grabbers. But I don't want to get into that because, yeah, I think we can all see what's going on here. The players have spoken out, and they're still not being heard to. And this is why sometimes fans you got to take away the getting 200k a week, and I get it. And that is down to football evolving, so that's not the players' fault. I get it, but you look at the human beings at the end of the day. The human beings, and you need to take the welfare of players in consideration. So that's what I'll say.
Yeah, because just with
Abdul
that,
says,
if you ask a
yeah,
lot of
go on, Brian.
players, sorry, you ask
Mhm.
like a lot of
No, go on,
Brazilian players,
go on. Mhm.
Argentinian players, what their biggest dream is. A lot of these guys be to win the World Cup with their country. Like players want to play for their countries. A lot of them do. They want to win stuff. Ask any of the boys who've ever won AFCON, won a Euros, won a World Cup. So it's not international football isn't the problem. It's the amount of it. There's definitely too much of it, but there's nothing better than a World Cup. Like you ask, like Brazil, their whole football history is built on winning World Cups. That's so. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like you don't need to get rid of everything, but there's definitely a lot. There's too much of it. Yeah, but I don't, and some people don't like international football, but World Cups, man. Some of these guys, that's the pinnacle for them is to win that.
Mm. No, I agree with you, bro. I think when I was younger, international friendlies, all that I was into it. But as I've gotten older, apart from qualifiers from Ghana, and you might look at the odd 1-2 game here, like a Holland versus Spain, like a big countries, then you don't really bother until the major tournaments. So yeah, no, fair enough. Abdul says here, FIFA, UEFA, and English FA need to improve and get better. I think I can say here from all three of us. Dara says these players should spend a few weeks working with me, and they know all about. Dara indeed. I think me, Brian, and Jake can collaborate. Yeah, we'll send them off to the most sunny days of Arizona, and then yeah, Dara, what you do, indeed, I agree. I fully agree in that, 100%. All right, let's delve into the fixtures of the weekend because there was some interesting fixtures. We'll start with Man City. They got a crucial result again on the weekend against Everton. Um, what did you guys think of that? Oh, sure. No problem,
Yeah.
bro.
All right,
No
cool.
problem, bro.
I will talk to you guys later on.
No problem. Sure, no problem. Big up, bro.
All right.
Okay, sure. No
Take it
problem.
easy.
All right.
See you later,
Peace.
everyone. See you, Abdul. See you, Dara. See you, Jared. See you all later on.
Cool. Nice one, bro.
Yeah, good 2-0 win for City.
Yeah.
Yeah, away from home, they're just finding form, aren't they, to get Champions League football.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I think that'd be close. And obviously, Chelsea won their game last minute kick of like they desperately needed against Fulham. So that I think that top four race, and then obviously we've got Villa, as you know, look at the Woods JK beating the Newcastle 4-1. I mean, it's all heating up for the Champions League positions, isn't it? I mean, it's all up in the air, isn't it, JK? In terms of who will win, who will get the remaining spaces, 3 places for the Champions League. What do you reckon? What do you think, JK? Okay. JK sort of sung out right now. Okay, so club football, there's a lot of games as well. In yeah, I agree. Abdul. Just reading some of your comments here. Yeah, indeed. That's for the top bodies to do that. Buying new players at LFC in the summer. It's also luck if they come good and they can handle pressure. Exactly, Abdul. Every player is a succession, so they could come good, they could come not. There's players that we all want, there's players that we don't want. So they can come in and do a good job, you know. So yeah, no, I agree with that. Abdul. Pick up the remaining of you in the chat. It's all right. Coming up past 2 hours, you know, we're going to finish in the next 5-6 minutes or so. So yeah, send your comments and yeah. But one thing I will say, you know, another defeat from them scumbags at Toilet Trafford, and yeah, I mean, again, you just love it, and this is what we think. Again, another defeat from them dirty manx.
Oh, chest! I can't breathe!
You just gotta love it. Just gotta love it. Bless up, guys. All right, guys. I'll end it on this comment. So this will be the last comment of the show. What do you think about our season so far? It's good. It's great because we're winning the league. Could have been better, but it's going to be great because we're winning the big one, and it's going to be 20 times Abdul. What about you, JK? Last comment.
It's been okay.
JK still, yeah. It'll be all right. JK will be in the party mode next week when we beat Spurs. But anyway. But big up everyone in the chat. Big up the few of you in there. Abdul, Realism, Dara, Norman, Edward, all of you that were in or out of the chat. Cedric, whoever's in the chat, big yourself up. We're going to end the stream now. JK, anything you'd like to say?
No, thanks to the chat and press the like on the button if you can. That'd be cool.
Problem. That's it. In terms of shows, just keep looking and subscribe. We might do one. We could do one. Well, I'm sure we'll do one later this week, but just look on the notifications. As you know, we'll let you know. There'll just be more, you know, but more stuff, more games, and then obviously Fuzzy as well, you know. So big up everyone. We'll see. We'll catch you later. I don't know if 12th Man's got a show. You've got the Irishman there. You've got the Irishman, you know, the show, Anfield Irishman. You know, go check his show out. JK's got his own. He's going to get his own one sooner rather than later. So yeah, so pick up everyone. And again, I'll just say to the haters, to everyone that's everyone who thought we ain't gonna do much this season. This is what we have to do.
Oh, chest! I can't breathe.
Big nasty.
Big up, everyone. Big up. Like, share, subscribe, guys. I don't know why there's two of me, but me and JK signing out. Big up, build yourselves, and take care. Have a great holidays. Have a great Easter. We'll be back later. Peace out, guys. Take care. Peace.